It was nice to walk away from camp and out into the wild. Whenever you are out for a walk, you are at the mercy of nature, and in our path was a herd of elephants. So an armed guard is very important, just in case. Attacks out on hikes are very, very rare, but earlier this year, a tourist and her child out on a safari hike were killed from an elephant protecting its calf near Mount Kenya. Hikes are a great time to get up close and see things that you would normally just drive right by in your Jeep, like plant life, poo piles, and tracks. But we couldn't stare at the ground for long without looking up to see where the elephant herd was. And also back down again so we don't step in poop. What a pile. Want to know what made this? A porcupine. So we continued out on the dry riverbed, having to get closer to the elephants so we can get around the foot of the hill. It's nice to see elephants in this area, because as recent as 20 years ago, they were cleared out from lots of poaching. I'm always amazed at how the largest land animal in the world can easily hide amongst the trees. I stopped to get a picture. It isn't a great shot at all, but I like it because I took it on foot. We were trying to figure out just where the heck all the elephants were when I turned around and I could see the room that I was staying in. I wanted to say, hey, I could see my house from here, but I remained silent. As we carried on, there were two elephants that had come up a little closer to check out what they had been smelling. Now here's where you trust the skill level of your guides. The skill level of our guides were amazing. James has spent his life around this area, and he knows very well how to act around wild animals. I live in a world so far removed from wildlife, it is very nice to enter their world again. We continued on, and we started to walk in higher grass. Would I finally see a leopard? Would I finally see a leopard a little too close than what I wanted to? Who knew what was around the next corner? Well, this was tick poop. Those little antelopes can really pile it up. Walking around really lets you slow down and appreciate the beautiful scenery that's all around. And in that scenery was a Jeep sent with drinks, and it would also be our ride back home. Or would it? Well, the Jeep broke down, so we started our walk back and saw something to be feared when you're on a walk, a black rhino. But we didn't have to worry, as he was behind a wire fence, as this was Omni the rhino, a hand-reared black rhino from Lewa that calls this area his home. It was very cool to see him again.
He's now 12 years old now.
I got a quick picture of him, and we walked back to camp. I was actually glad to spend more time on foot. Life can be rough at times, but it is chances like this that I get to walk in Africa that make it all worthwhile. So our bed has been pushed out into the porch. That's the edge of the porch there. You know, they can't see it. And put on about 20 pounds in the last few years, but hopefully this porch can still hold me. And we're going to have a fun time sleeping in this bed. I don't know how to get into it. Oh, here. No. Oh, whatever. Somehow we get into the bed. And boy, they really pushed it right to the edge of the porch. And then that's, of course, the cliff. And that's Africa. Cool. I slept that night with the camera by my side, but an elephant could have walked through the room. I wouldn't have known as I passed out. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Safari Lewa. For information on the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy and ways you can help other wildlife, please read the description of this video. Thanks for watching.